One day, the magazines, through the counsel of James White, was thrown on a deck or on a pier in San Francisco. A few months later, one of the captains threw it on his ship and took him to the South Pacific Islands. Well, this magazine was given out to a group of people who became the descendants of Mutiny on the Bounty. Surely you've seen the movie or maybe read the book, Mutiny on the Bounty. Well, all the descendants of them read these magazines. And the word came back years later that the entire island of the Pitcairn Islands, because of these magazines that was started by James White, wanted to be Seventh-day Adventist. The entire island. So when you watch the movie, think about what happened to them. And there was still one person alive from the actual mutiny. Well, John Tay was the man who went to the island to help them understand the Bible, but he couldn't baptize, so he had to bring somebody else back on a ship that the conference mate called the Pitcairn. And I don't know how it is today, but at that time, every adult was baptized. It was incredible, the work of James White. But James White worked so hard, in fact, he worked too hard, and he was attacked by a number of strokes. The final one finally caused his death. One day, he lived in Ellen White and him lived up in northern Michigan. They had a house above Battle Creek, Michigan. And he was so weary, so frail. And he had wheat out in the fields. And he said to himself, oh, I've got so much work to do in the publishing work. Oh, I have so many stories to write for the books. Oh my, I'm going to ask the neighbor farmers if they would harvest my wheat. Well, Mrs. White knew the health message. Mrs. White secretly left the house and went to every one of the farmers and says, James is going to ask you to help him. You tell him no. He needs to do it himself. He needs to get out in the sun. And so he did it, and his health was strengthened. Today, we have Education Day. Do you know that James White was one of the founders of our education? He actually was the president of Battle Creek College for some years. He was strong in education, strong in the school, along with Goodwill Hopper Bell. They worked together in the school. But as it is, great men also sometimes find the end. And there was a time where he finally passed away. But I need to tell you that the day that Ellen White and James got married, James White, many years prior to his death, not too far, looked back at that marriage and he said this. He said, from the day of our marriage to now, she has been my finest lady. I hope that we all can say that. Wait for next month. I got a good one for you then too.
Happy Sabbath, everyone. Just a little household note. I'm going to ask these two rows right here to kindly move to the back because we have some wonderful children that's going to come in and sit, and they're going to be participating in our wonderful Education Day program with Waukesha that's hosting our Education Day. Now, I am very pleased and honored to introduce two lovely young girls. As you can see, they're dressed alike, and they are the granddaughters of one of our esteemed teachers here, Ms. Valerie Francis. Mrs. Francis, wave your hands. And they're going to sing and worship the Lord with their wonderful voice. Could we have the parents, the Francis, stand up, please? And we're going to ask that these young ladies stand on the platform. Brother Drummond, it's always a pleasure that you book these girls because they're always booked out for months. Thank you. Oh, and if you're a platform member, we need you in the back. If you're going to be on the second service. After this.
How can I say thanks for all the things you have done for me? Things so undeserved, yet you gave to prove your love for me. The voices of a cannot express my gratitude. All that I am and ever hope to be, I owe it all to thee. To God be the glory. To God be the glory. To God be the glory for the things He has done. With His blood He has saved me. With His blood He has raised me. To God be the glory for the things He has done. Just let me live